now with Frankie Corrado. And Frankie, just 2 weeks ago, Ottawa was the highest-ranked Canadian team in the standings, sitting second in the Atlantic. Now they're second last in the East. So did we overrate the Sens?
No, we didn't overrate the Senators. That's just the reality of the Eastern Conference right now, where if you go on a skid where you lose 4 out of 5, that's where you're going to end up because everyone is plucking points off one another and it's really tight. The margin for error is really slim. And so if you look, specifically at the Atlantic Division, thought of as the best division or one of the best, that in the Central coming into the regular season, Central has been somewhat of a powerhouse, but the Atlantic, it's a battle in a different way because everyone's close. Some teams have fallen back to the pack. Some teams have taken a step forward. Well, where does that leave the Ottawa Senators? They're still a good team. They're a good defensive team. They're scoring way more than they did last season. But if you factor in that they went on this really long road trip and their game tailed off towards the end of it, and then they came back, they played 2 games at home where they didn't play terrible, they just lost those games. And now you look at the standings and they're that low. That's just the reality of what the Eastern Conference is right now and how everyone is just taking points off one another, and a little bit of a sleepy part of your schedule can cost you, and now you have to climb up above some other teams.
That's right. But, they go on a 3-game win streak, and they can be right back up there. Now, Brady Tkachuk missed 20 games with a thumb injury, and the Sens did hold their own without him, picking up points in 15 of those games. But in the 5 games with their captain back in the lineup, they only have 1 win. And it goes without saying, he is one of their most important players. So, Frankie, how do we explain their recent struggles?
So I would put it to you this way. It's a little bit of the schedule because they go on this long road trip. They play in 3 different time zones. They're 3-3 coming back to the Eastern time zone to play against the Montreal Canadiens. They win that game. It was a good game for them. Now they finish the road trip 4-3. That's great work. To come out of that on the positive end of the ledger was awesome for the Senators. Then they return home. They play a game against the Rangers where they didn't play bad, but they didn't win the game. And then Saturday's game against the St. Louis Blues, their power play lets them down. It goes 1 for 7 in a gettable game against one of the league's worst teams. And so now you say, okay, well, you lost 2 on the road trip before you went to Montreal. You lost 2 coming home, and you're without Thomas Chabot. You're without Shane Pinto. So you're battling some of the injuries that you have internally, trying to find a little more from some other players. That's what's going on with the Ottawa Senators right now. It's not like their game has taken a spill off of a cliff and it's nowhere to be found. It's right there. They just have to find ways to score goals when it really matters and ultimately find a way to win the game. It's going to be a battle every single night, especially when you're missing 2 prominent players like Pinto and Chabot. They just have to find a way to pluck points as these games keep going.
And they just may do that, and this could be a different conversation next week, Frankie. It's still early in this season as the Sens, they're only 5 points out of the top spot in the Atlantic Division.